Hey everyone, it's me Lizzie with The Real Deal. It's been a while since I've had a post where I just got on here and just had a random conversation with you guys. This is kind of a serious topic for me, and I never wanted to ever make a post like this. I like to do the ones where I'm crocheting and showing you all my wonderful works of art. Even in my car, I'm still crocheting this beautiful scarf. I like doing the cooking videos with you. I don't like having these conversations in any sense. So over the last 3 years, my family and I have been through a whirlwind of hell. Starting with the apartment we were living in. I started noticing that I was getting really, really sick. And that's pretty much when I stopped videoing, because it affected my lungs and affected the way that I talk, the way that I breathe, and it was just some really yucky things. So, I stopped videoing for a long time. And my husband and I went away on my birthday trip to Atlantic City. And while we were gone, we noticed that my breathing was better. And when we came back, it had gotten worse. Speaking with one of the neighbors, they specified to me that the plumbing was leaking in their bathroom. And I'm like, still leaking? And then I started thinking, because my dad was a carpenter, so he taught me a lot. Come to find out, there was actually mold growing in the walls. And between fighting with the people for heat in the coldest day of the winter on my daughter's 16th birthday. So it's been almost 4 years now. And fighting to get my air conditioning fixed in the summertime, I was just not at a point at that time where I could fight them on anything else. And I legitimately saw the mold. Being a carpenter's kid, I cut out a hole in a wall, and behind the sheetrock there was nothing but black mold. No, I did not try to fight it at that point. We just decided to up and move. Might not have been the best situation, because I didn't know that times were changing and that all anybody cared about was your credit score. In the process of us thinking about what my husband and I should do, because we had 2 children and their safety is everything to us, we started looking at places around the Kingston area where we were living. And we found a place. The lady really liked me, and she wasn't sure about my husband yet, but she really liked me. And we got to talking, and she's like, hey, I'll knock $500 off your rent if you paint the apartment or the house yourself. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. Well, I wanted to see if I could get one of my customers, who was I thought was a really good customer and a really good person. She owns one of the local businesses in Uptown Kingston, to help me out. So I went to her and I said, hey, I'm looking at this house and I know you're friends with the lady on Facebook. Would you mind putting in a good word for me? She then turned around and told me, oh, well, I have somebody that we're looking at for that house. And it wasn't me. And I felt kind of weird, like, even asking, because I don't really like to ask for help. But I put my heart out there to ask for help. After that day with the business owner, who I helped, even though she's one of the first tippers when it comes to doing Instacart shopping. And I mean, that's what I do for work. I'm an Instacart shopper. I've been a shopper since the beginning of the pandemic. It was my way of giving back and helping others get the essentials that they needed for their jobs, their businesses, their homes. You know, if they had an autoimmune disease, I was one of the ones that was out there shopping for them, getting their essential items. So I went to somebody that I was helping to ask for help. And instead of helping me, she caused me to have to move into a hotel, which was costing my husband and I out of our behinds, because obviously I did not pick a Roach Motel. I picked a Marriott hotel. With us living in a hotel for approximately around 2 years, it got to be way too expensive, and we ended up having to leave there and move in with family for about 90 days until my friend that we're living with now could make room in her house, which I am entirely grateful for those that took us in. Because as we were looking for places 2 years later, or within those 2 years, we were noticing that more people cared more about your credit and your credit score than how much money you can afford to pay. Now, my credit debt is about maybe a little less than $2,000. And all that tells somebody is that I didn't have enough money at one time to pay my credit card bills, so they went into collections. That's all that tells you. It doesn't tell you that I worked 7 days a week, 14-hour days to make ends meet, to pay and take care of my children. Because I have 2 children, 2 beautiful daughters that I love dearly. My husband and I, we work a lot to provide for them while still trying to make time for family trips and trips to the Bronx Zoo and making life as normal as possible, even in a situation where life is not always normal. Do I know that I could be way worse? And I'm very lucky to have a roof over my head. And I thank those that have helped. Please forgive my coughing. I still have a lot of that from when we were living in the place with the mold. I just thank God today that it did not affect my children. We've been looking in the Dutchess County area probably for about a year now, a year and a half, for a place to live. And the only thing that keeps holding us up is a credit score. My husband and I went to go look at a place out on Peachtree in Tivoli. And it was a 3-bedroom mobile home. And the property manager said with credit scores like mine, they'd have to let anybody in. And I'm like, I'm not anybody. I'm somebody that actually has been a service person to help others for the last 5 years. And I've literally serviced over 25,000 family homes in the last 5 years. That's a lot of groceries, that's a lot of lugging, that's a lot of wear and tear on my vehicle. And all I'm asking is for somebody to help us just once. Overlook our credit score, which my husband's is not nearly that bad. Mine has come up at least 200 points in the last year and a half. I'm just a hairline below 650 because we went to look at a place to live that was only $2,100 a month, which my husband and I clearly make way more than that. We make the income requirements, but the owner who lives in California doesn't like our credit score, and his score is 680. I'm like literally 15 points shy of 650. I don't understand why this credit score thing is such a huge impact. Because every time I go to look at a place, it takes an inquiry off my credit score. So now I have to work harder to get that score back up. Not that I won't, but I always do. And it's just not right. I help everybody daily. And I can't even get a place with our own roof over our own heads. We have a place to live. We are renting a couple rooms from my friend who has a nice big house. And she was willing to take my family in because she knows that we are going through a housing crisis. There wouldn't be so much of a housing crisis if landlords would stop looking at everybody's credit scores. Look at what their ability to pay is, not their credit score. All that tells you about that person is that they went through a rough time in life and they couldn't afford to pay their credit card. Right now, I have a credit card. I am paying on time. I still have some back owed. I will deal with those when we find a place to live. I have a lady who tried to tell my husband and I that we will never find a place to live and that we should take her place because that's the only place that we'll find that will take us. She wanted a cash down payment. check, bank check, cash in hand. That was a little sketchy to us. They were very pushy. We said no. We're not going with another. I'm not going to have another slump lord. I already dealt one when we were living with my aunt. So I wasn't going that route again. But come on, guys. We're in 2026. I'm trying to make this a great year. And I would like to just have our own place. And we have the financial means for our own place. I just need to get past the credit score. So if anybody's in Dutchess County, the Red Hook, Rhinebeck, Tivoli area, please open your hearts. Because a lot of you, I probably have delivered your groceries to your door in one piece, double bagged, nice and pretty. And I love doing my job. I love my job because I get to help each and every one of you. And that was why I started to do Instacart 5 years ago. It's because I wanted to help others that needed help. And now I'm one of the others that needs the help. I don't qualify for government assistance because, well, I make too much money for that. I don't qualify for any aid because I make too much money for it. All I'm asking is, please help me find a place for my children that I love so much, that my husband and I work so hard to teach them to be decent, loving human beings. I thank you for watching this. I will keep you guys posted along the way of our housing journey and where we are. Right now, we're waiting for a phone call back on a 3-bedroom house that we looked at to rent. At this rate, I'm thinking it might be better to try to do a first-time homeowner's loan as opposed to renting a house. But we'll see where everything goes. I will keep you guys posted on our housing journey along the way. Just note one thing, my children are never not cared for. They are loved, they are clothed, they are fed, they have a roof over their heads. We are very lucky for that. We are luckier than most that are living on the streets during this housing crisis. But we do need our own place. A little place to put our little welcome mat out and welcome people into our home where we have our parties and our gatherings and our Christmases. Again, thank you for watching. Remember, have fun with what you do and keep it real because you know I do with each and every video. Bye, you guys.